it's going on, traders, and welcome back to IFX. All right, so let's make this more exciting. All right, so we're gonna have here, right over here on my left hand side, we see these lines right here. They're going to be the high and the low of the 4-hour candle. Okay, so this pretty much is telling me this is the 4-hour candle movement on a 15-minute time frame. Okay, and this is currently a 4-hour movement until it closes into 4 hours. Okay, so very simple. Now we're going to, right here on the indicator, what we're going to do is when you go to the pullback zones, you can enable the dashboard, you can enable the arrow alerts if you want. Again, we talked about this on the settings already. But what we want to look for is that for now, on this 4-hour show history, I'm going to put in 200 in here so I can go back and it gives me more lines so I can show you more examples of what is it that we're going to be looking for, okay? All right, so the second thing in here that we're going to look for is, this is going to be part 2, and then part 3, I'll make it already finalized and I'll make a summary on this. So the idea in here is that what I'm looking for is that when I get my arrow entry or alert, I was very, very, into that price should be inside. When I get the alert, it should happen inside, let's say, this prior 4-hour high and low, okay? But sometimes we can look back a second candle, okay? So this would be the first, and then this would be the second candle prior, okay? So very important that you know this, because we're gonna work on the EA, and the EA is going to give us entries based on this. All right, so we got this alert. So this alert pretty much more or less meets the criteria. We are outside where we are on this gray area, right? It happened inside yesterday's high, so or below. And then we could say, hey, we can give it a try as long as it's inside this candle, right? This 4-hour high and low, or this one, okay? I like I like when it's inside the most current 4-hour close candle, but if it doesn't happen and everything else more or less can meet, then we can give it a try, okay? So the idea is that we don't enter, let's just say, for example, we get an alert. I would have to look for another alert that doesn't meet the criteria so that you can more or less see what I'm talking about in here, okay? Let me just make this bigger a little bit. All right, so here is one, okay? We can actually color this, make a color, but let's just say we get a buy entry alert in here. Of course, it does not meet the first criteria, which is yesterday's low or high, but let's just consider this entry. So let's say we get an alert in here, and if I look to my left, there's nothing in here, okay? Nothing to back me up. And then I'm not saying that the trades are not always going to work, but it's just being more conservative, right? We're trying to make the best out of this. Now, for the prior 4-hour candle is all the way here, and then the second prior candle is right over here on the top. So this, I would not validate it, and I would not enter unless I see something really strong that lets me know that price is gonna go in that direction. But again, so the criterion here is that when we get the arrow alert, or when we want to consider an entry, we want to look back and we want to make sure that we are going in at least prior candle or second prior candle, okay? So again, let's just say in here, we got an alert over here, and then we have first prior 4-hour candle, and then this is second prior 4-hour candle. So then I would not consider an entry here. Again, there are all the ways that we can consider an entry, but for now, I just want to keep it safe, and I want to make sure that you get the best out of this strategy, okay? So very simple strategy. So again, all you want to do is you want to make sure that it meets the first. At first, you really want to start trading first looking at the prior 4-hour candle. If we are inside of it, then we want to consider an entry, okay? That's pretty much it. So let's just say, for example, in here, price went up, then, you know, we got an alert. Actually, I want to, we can actually go back in here, and then I can also, I would have to edit this. It doesn't show it in here, but when you see it, you're gonna see 1,000. To look back 1,000 bars, I want to actually show it on the next, you know, when you see it on your side. But, you know, when you have it, we can see history pretty much more or less to go back more, okay? All right, so for example, this is a great example right here. We got the alert over here, right? It met the RSI, you know, we're on the lower side is over here. Of course, you know, I'm not going to show right now the zones, but let's just say we were on the green zones, okay? And price, what did it do? It actually almost closed above yesterday's high. And then, you know, the trade worked out very nice. But, you know, at the time of entry, it happened inside my prior 4-hour high and low. So that's very, very important over here, okay? That's what I want you to keep tracking here and understand what I'm talking about. So very simple, okay? So the idea in here, you know, let's just say yesterday's high was higher, and then we got the arrow right here is inside this high and low, prior 4-hour high and low, so we can consider an entry, okay? So now on the next following video, we're gonna talk about another strategy that I want you to keep in track and know, because this to me is key in order to make entries. Okay, so we're going to talk about what to do and not to do more or less, and then I'll give you a summary video.